It's 1 week after the event, nearly. In fact, no, it is over 1 week since the event started, the 25-hour live stream for Sophie's Legacy. We raised a hell of a lot of money. Everyone who donated or contributed or shared or promoted or whatever helped should give themselves a big pat on the back. I can't because I don't bend that way. But it's not over. The donations are still pouring in, and as of yesterday, yesterday, we went over £13,000, which is, it's mental. I mean, that is crazy. It's amazing, brilliant. I did not expect it. Last year I was blown away when it got to 8,000. I remember my wife stood there saying to me, like, it's gone over 8,000. Like, you couldn't believe it. And now, I mean, it's nearly like £3,000 later, and it would have doubled last year. But a couple of days ago, I made a promise. I said, if it went over £13,000 in the donations on the Just Giving page, link below, I would stick VEP on the rolling road. And I have. So there you go. It's on the rolling road. Cheers. Okay. Well, we'll do it then. We'll see. What has my 1980, well, technically, 83 build. This car is actually 40 years old in just under 2 months. So it was built in 1983, registered February 84, but how many horses has it got? That's the question everyone asks when they see a red, nearly 40-year-old 1.6 CITROEN BX, isn't it? So how much power should it have? Well, that really depends on where you look. I nearly fell over. If you look in some places, it says 90 horsepower. If you look in some places, it says 92. And if you look in other places, it says 94. The reason being is that the XU 1.6 litre engine fitted to this car was in production for a long time with a myriad of different carburetors and configurations, and yeah, no one knows which way's up anymore. It's around about 90 to 94, we'll say, which for its age, for a near 40-year-old 1.6 litre single carburetor engine, single overhead cam, that's pretty good. I mean, if you wanted that sort of power from any of the other makes, you'd have to get a, well, 2 litre Sierra probably, or I don't know what Volkswagen were doing at that time. I'm pretty sure their 1.6 has only made about 75 horsepower. It is completely standard. The carburetor is brand new. It's a Weber carburetor, a Weber DRTC. That is the original spec for this year car. It's had a new one because the old one was dicky. It's had a new cam belt, a new water pump. Been put back together by my own fair hand. So if it does badly, we know who to blame. Other than that, it's completely standard. It's still on the original head gasket and valves, and head hasn't been off, and the clutch is original, and yeah, so it really is a time warp. Now, before we get going, everyone's going to look at this car, and some people will go, oh, look at that, sticking that on the rolling road, it'll be like 70 horsepower. The joke may be on you, because Citroens, particularly, and Peugeots with these kind of engines, this era of engine, they're pretty good on the rolling road. They normally make the numbers. In fact, the lower power ones normally better the numbers. So we shall see. Place your bets in the comments, because it's good for the algorithm. What do you think? I think personally, having driven the car quite extensively, I think it's got all of it. I'm going to go for 96. I think it's got 96. I'm going to be recording it in DIN as well, because I think it's the best conversion factor for cars on a rolling road dyno, to be honest, and those are largely what the book figures were. So I'm going to go 96 at the fly. I'm not bothering with wheel figures, because the wheel figures today will be different to the wheel figures in 2 months' time, because the air will be cooler, and then in the summer it'll be different again. Use correction factors, it's easier. So we're looking at the flywheel figure, standard, somewhere between 90 and 94. I'm going to say she's kicking out 96. If it kicks out over 100, everyone has to make this deal with me now. Everyone who watches this, make this deal, okay? Do the right thing. If it kicks over 100, you send £1 to Sophie's Legacy on the Just Giving page in the link below. Because it really shouldn't do 100. But if it does, you do that. We should do it anyway, but yeah. Right. What are we waiting for? Me. Ooh. 90.9. Let me just switch this off quick. Oh, that's the horn. 90.9. If we go in on the fact that it should have 90, it's spot on. Bit of a dip, I noticed, at the mid-range, kind of like 3,000, a bit of a dip. Don't know what that is. Could be timing related, but it was making decent power higher up. So, but that's the first run. Sometimes it takes them a couple of runs to wake up. So we shall allow it to wake up. I think my 96 might be a little optimistic, and I might have to donate some money to Sophie's Legacy in place of all the people who will not be donating £1 because it didn't get over 100 horsepower. It feels all right on the road, actually. I'm kind of surprised. I shouldn't be going, oh, that's a bit, you know, because it's, you know, doing exactly what it's meant to do, but it feels quicker than that. So let's try again. Only this time I'm going to show you what I can see inside, because the speedo and the rev counter and everything look très cool. Means very in French. Cultured like that. Right, so we are back in VEP. I'm going to give you a driver's eye view. I'm going to put the window up as well, because it's that fan is noisy. Right. How cool does that look? Right, so off we go again. Get the rollers moving. I'm gonna have to hold the steering wheel when it gets into fourth gear to do the run. Went a bit higher that time. Clutch is down now, so it's in gear, but the clutch is down. So you're trying to like replicate as much of the drag that the gearbox would have in it by leaving it in gear. When you go below 30 mile an hour, you can do what you want because it's not reading anymore. So it's just coasting at the moment. Blip the throttle every now and then just to get the water pump spinning a bit quicker to help cool the engine, because I don't have a gauge. Or I might have a light. Have I got a light? Yeah, I've got a warning light for level, but I think temperature's not there. Right, it's finished. Let's go have a look. I am excited. Well, potentially. Let's turn that off. Ooh. Oh, that's better. That's better. It's nearly ironed that kink out. Maybe there's just a bit of crud in the carburetor or something. Ooh, now we're getting somewhere. 92 at 5,800. That gives us a £100 foot at 3,899. It's quite a flexible engine, this, so that's that does look about right. That's a nice graph. So there's not much point revving it past, what's that, 5,750? Not a lot of point doing that, except for fun, 72.5 at the wheels. That is a good showing. A healthy car, but I'm sure we can do better, so I'm going to do it again because it hasn't blown up yet, so why not? Let's have a look. 90.8. Same RPM, slightly more torque, but it's because the graph's getting a bit squirrely here, so I don't know what the cause of that could be. Could possibly be a bit of detonation, maybe. You know, a smidgen of it. It is only running E10. It's not running fancy pants fuel. I'm not cheating. I'm not cheating like Hubnut did, because he went off and stuck a load of super in Ellie. But you know, I could drain the tank and stick some super in, but I don't really think it'd make a huge difference. It might possibly smooth that off, but you wouldn't feel that on the road anyway. It's a nice broad torque curve. That's the torque there. So 90. So we go. Well, my rule is that we go with the best run that wasn't an anomaly. So if we had a run that went along here, sometimes you get them and then there was a spike and then it came down again and it momentarily hit 100, then at that point I would go, no, that's not fair. That's obviously a bum run. So the second run I did was quite a smooth one. In fact, it was the most consistent one of all of them. Why does it matter, you ask? I shall show you. It matters greatly because this is my new toy. It's a chart, like a chart. It's completely not a rip-off of a very popular mainstream motoring program. It might have the same kind of material in the background, but it's not, I promise, because these aren't magnetic. These are stick-on. What I have to do is put VEP in this list, which I shall do. But I shall explain the list before I do this. So at the top, we have the highest power cars, and at the bottom, we have Ellie. Until he brings that Invacar here, in which case that will then be at the bottom. That is the strongest car there because it'd be holding all the others up. What we have on them is the name of the car, the power figure that it made, its best non-bum run, and what that is relative to its book figure. These are respect points. So we have, for example, Audrey, which is very much not a DS, did 75 horsepower. Now I've done my research and it turns out Audrey should produce 80 horsepower. So for a car that's 53 years old, fair play, well done. Bella, yeah, past the Picasso has a respect points. Now I have given it negative respect points because it did only hit 88 horsepower. So it's on -2 respect points, but it has done 513 miles. I don't know if we mentioned that. It's done a lot of miles. Therefore, you can kind of, I've written the respect points in small because they don't matter. Basically, why do the respect points matter? They matter if we get two cars with the same amount of power. Because I'm not doing decimals, balls to that. It's not that accurate anyway. If I do three, you've seen I do 3 different runs, I get 3 different numbers. So we're not doing decibels, but if we get another car with 75, but that is on the money and that's what it's meant to do, it would have a respect point score of 0, which is higher than -5 because maths, and it would go above Audrey. Bella is on -13 respect points. So there's a real lack of respect there, really. Hilda is, well, I mean, no, okay, so some might say this is cheating. Hilda's best run was 117 horsepower, which is 80 horsepower more than it should have. It's a different engine, I know, but it is an imp. So Hilda the imp would have had 37 horsepower, now has 117. I don't make the rules. Oh no, I do. At the top of the chart, we have a Saxo, believe it or not. Well, it's quite easy to believe it, isn't it? 20 years with a Saxo, which is my wife's Saxo's Instagram handle for her Saxo, which she has had for, 20 years, nearly. For reasons we don't know, that's making 128 horsepower. In fact, it did actually do one at 132, but it's only done it once. It was a smooth run, but it was only once, and I thought, yeah, it'll do 128 repeatedly, so we'll be fair. I don't know why that is. It goes like slippery shit off a shiny shovel. It really does. I have no idea why. It's certainly nothing I've done. That has +8 respect points. So where does VEP fit in this chart? Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's going here. In 3rd place, which isn't bad, but I need to figure out how many respect points it has. And for that, I'm going to have to figure out how much power it should actually have. So I'm going to do that now. Hang on. If we're going to do this, we might as well do it properly, you know what I mean?
2 very boring minutes later.
Right, I have conducted investigative research. And I have deduced it should have 94 horsepower. So 94 horsepower is the figure of a car with that carburettor this year, the 171A engine, I think it is. In fact, it's even a car with metric tyres, but this one doesn't have. So we're talking a really early BX. 94 horsepower at 6,000 revs and 101 pound-feet of torque at 3,250. And we are running at 92 horsepower at 5,800 RPM and 100 pound-feet at 3,899. So it's there or thereabouts. The torque is slightly higher at the rev band and the power is dropping off earlier. So that kind of suggests that it is going a little bit squirrely up here. Only minor, to be honest. Let's not forget it's running on spark plugs that it's had in there since I put it back on the road. So they've done 6,000 miles already and lots of periods of, well, idling or pulling Reliant Foxes up hills in Wales. It does also tail off early, and I'm wondering if perhaps I've got the timing round a little bit too far, possibly, to run on the fuel it's got. But it doesn't pink or anything like that. It does pop a little bit on the overrun. I think it's cute. Yeah, it's possible that a new set of plugs and a bit of OptiPlop, or whatever you call it these days, would sort that. But for now, I'm happy. That is a good run. That is a successful run. So we're going to call it VEP, because that's the number plate and it doesn't have a name. VEP, the BX, has done 92 brake horsepower. And respect points, unfortunately, it loses 2. So if another car comes along and does 92, and that's more than it's meant to do, it's going to knock VEP down a peg. So that puts VEP, I feel like a tall guy with sort of pubic hair on his head. That puts VEP here. Yeah. I don't know what to do now. So, all jokes aside, this is a good thing. It shows that VEP is in good health, which is useful because I have to sell. Oh, the security light went on. Yeah, VEP is in good health, and not really much is needing doing there. I mean, the bonnet probably needs a bit of a polish, but I'm not really much of a cleaner. So yeah, that'll do. Thank you for watching. There's your thing. If we get to 15,000 somehow on the donations, I'm really not expecting that. I will see if I can remove the 2 outer wheels on the van, Vecchi, and put that on there. Maybe 20,000. And as for the chart here, I'm more interested in cars that are like lower down. I find that more interesting. I'm not into the power figures like Willy Waving competition. It's more like, do they make what they're supposed to make from the factory? I have a feeling when Professor Tomato hits these fair rollers, and I'm sure it will, it should rightfully take the crown from the Saxo at the top there. It really should, because if it doesn't, that's quite embarrassing. And then as far as the bottom of the thing goes, don't laugh at Ellie, that's not fair. It's a 2CV. 30 horsepower from a 2CV, that's not bad. If you want to laugh at something, laugh at the Berlingo. Just, yeah, I'm not going to do it anymore, because it seems a bit I'm going to do it. No, I'll probably still do it.